Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to Siralim, where we are gonna have a mini episode where I'm just gonna do some off-screen farming and I'm gonna show you the highlights. Before we do that though, we've got a few things to do. Firstly, it occurs to me that with our current party, we haven't used up all of our stat boosting scrolls, and also the Phase Knight has the wrong stat modifiers. So I'm gonna use I'm gonna use for my field items. Just reducing speed, increasing health. Seems like or just anything that increases health. Maybe reducing. Let's reduce speed, increasing health. That seems like a nice, straightforward thing to do. And now the Face Knight has more health. I'm only doing that just because in our party we do more damage based on our maximum health. The other thing it occurs to me is that we haven't used stat boosting scrolls on our people. We have a lot of scrolls of health. We're gonna use all 15 of these on all of our creatures. So 15 times 6 is 90, just to further boost their health. So I don't know, I think we started at 339, so now you should have, yeah, it's hard to read, yeah, but you've got 15 scrolls, and we'll do the same with all of all of these guys, right? Let's get that done. Gotta make sure we use the correct scroll, because I don't know if there's any way to undo it if you... Oh god, we gotta... I wish it would keep the creature highlighted instead of going back to the first one. So I'm just gonna give 15 health scrolls to all of these creatures. I'll come back when that's done, because it looks like it's gonna take a little bit. Alright, so I'll see you shortly. Okay, I think we're done. Let's just confirm. 15. You also hang on. You need to have a different field item applied to give you a further health boost. Actually, no. I raised your speed, but that's because I was trying to make you go first. I will now give you the opposite thing, which is lower your speed and increase your health, because at this point all of our mimics are identical. None of them has some like special thing that we want to have happen first. They're all just doing the same thing. Alright, so that's one part of it. One part of what I wanted to show you, and also I wanted to show you the new macros that I have. So I now have 3 versions of my fermented hops macro, FH1, FH2, FH3. And the way these macros work is, instead of asking my mimic to try and cast fermented hops, instead what he's going to do is he's going to cast Wormhole on... So creature 1 will cast Wormhole on creature 2. Creature 2, if he gets a chance to take his turn, will cast Wormhole on creature 3. Creature 3 will cast Wormhole back to creature 1, and assuming this, like nothing breaks this, assuming the enemies don't have a way to take extra actions, that'll just mean we have a permanent loop of one mimic going after the other mimic. And the reason is because, let me recap what traits we have. They always start at the top of the timeline. They cast spells without consuming charges, meaning whatever spells they have, they can cast them endlessly, and they automatically, at the start of their turn, cast their 5 non-ethereal spells. And what non-ethereal spells do they have? Fermented Hops, which does damage. Guardian Force, which causes them to defend, and Entangling Roots, which stops the enemy from, or snares the enemy and wastes their turn. Ooh, we got an achievement. Ooh, we got a couple achievements. That felt pretty delayed, but that was for excuse me, for using field items and for using stat boosting scrolls. All right, that's pretty nice. And I think those are creature achievements. No, those are item achievements. Yeah, so what we need to do? We need to use 500 stat boosting scrolls and 1,000 field items. That's gonna take a while. We won't worry about that right now. For now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the realms. We need to get our Goblet of Trials filled back up, just so it's ready to be handed in again. And I'm just gonna do some realms. Excuse me. Some realms on instability 5 while I am getting that sorted out. If we get a chance to get into combat where enemies survive, for instance against protected enemies, I will show you this modified build in action. But yeah, I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna do these realms as quickly as I can, and if there are any highlights, I will show them to you in just a moment. Alright, see you in a bit. Here's an interesting thing that we just found. A trait Netherstone with a bunch of stats as well. Attack damage, alright. Interesting. What is Esoteric Alteration? Is that good? Is that a good thing? Repelling buffs now have a... that seems kind of useless to me. But you know what? We can just have it there in our seemingly endlessly growing hoard of Netherstones, just in case we need it for some build in the future. Probably not, but it's there. So that's good, I guess. Anyway, having shown you that, I'm gonna go back off. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I think this is going to be a good chance to show our new build in action, because this is a one of those annoying realms where enemies have a 35% chance to resist damage, meaning a lot of the time one of them is just going to survive, and they indeed survived our first Blight Fermented Hops barrage. So what I do is I just hit my macro, cast Wormhole on creature number 2, and it still didn't kill them. Now creature 2, instead of trying to do any direct damage himself, will just cast Wormhole on creature number 3, who is also going to have his Fermented Hops and all of his other start of turn spells being cast. These guys didn't last long enough for us to really see the build, you know, like to truly showcase that it's infinite. They have to last long enough, and these guys actually lasted pretty long. Hang on. Why did we break out of that loop? Why is somebody other than one of our mimics going? Gotta... So... should have swapped... You should have swapped with Mimic number 1. And that's what the history shows. Did it move you lower down the timeline before doing... I don't understand why that's a thing. Let's get into some more combat in this realm and see if we can diagnose what's going on. So we're gonna have to fight some enemies and hope that they last several turns. One of the rare instances where we want enemies to stay alive for a while. So let's even summon some extra enemies to see if we can figure out what's going on. Okay. Okay, the first Mimic goes. Okay, third Mimic. Is there something wrong? No, you cast Wormhole on you, giving you an extra turn. You... did not cast Wormhole. Hang on. You cast Wormhole properly. You cast Wormhole, but one of... hang on. Is one of them not... if Ally 2 is alive, if Ally 1 is alive... yeah, it should be working. I don't understand why we... So, let me cast Wormhole. Oh, was it because... hang on a second. Is it because... hang on. Is it because you ran out of charges? Like ethereal charges somehow? Because we're gonna have to wait one more turn to see if that's what's going on. Like so far it's working, but I... how did... okay. You cast Wormhole on them, okay. Now you cast Wormhole again on Mimic number 1. No, Mimic number 1 is going. Now, what's the problem? You still have charges. So if I cast... yeah, it should just be an infinite Mimic loop. And against this enemy who is unable to be damaged, nobody other than a Mimic should be going at all. This should just be an infinite... I know we're not damaging this enemy because he's got some immunity to indirect damage. I don't mind that. All I wanted to establish was that this loop should never break, because I have indeed set my macros properly. I have... what? I don't understand why... hang on. Lunatio is going. So what I'm just gonna skip... I'm gonna skip your turn. I'm gonna... skip your turn. I'm gonna skip your turn as well. Let me... see. Yeah, you still have your Wormhole charges. What? I don't... Like, does Wormhole just randomly stop working sometimes? Okay, so if I manually cast Wormhole on creature 2, I manually cast Wormhole creature 3. I manually cast Wormhole on creature 1. You know what? Maybe the problem is that there are other lines in the macro. Maybe we just need to remove all of the other lines. So let me remove the line about casting fermented hops. That is just redundant. Completely redundant. So from all of these, I'm gonna remove the cast fermented hops. Maybe, like, they cannot cast spells manually, but maybe that was what was happening. Yeah. Remove that line. Now let's just make sure the macros are all good. Alright. Yeah, let's get into some more combat. Let's see if maybe we can... confirm that this is working fine. Might need to find another enemy that's immune to a blight damage in order to really see it, but I think we should be fine. Maybe there was just something about having another line in the macro above the line that we were actually using that was causing it to not function properly. Although when I looked at the battle history, it did say that we were casting Wormhole. Okay, this is gonna be good because these guys are protected. So this and they have a 35% chance to resist damage. So this fight could potentially last quite a while. Let's see what happens. So that works. That works. That works. And the one time I needed protected enemies to not die quickly, they just died quickly, just to spite me. And obviously when you don't want them to last for a long time, then they just resist damage for ages. Alright, you know what? You know what, I'm gonna say that it works. Maybe there's just some weird, like, some weird glitch that sometimes causes Wormhole, like, that causes some timeline stuff that doesn't make sense. I don't know. We'll try and figure that out. Anyway, I think that's enough tinkering with this build. I think I've established at least what I'm trying to do, and then maybe over the next few episodes we can try and, you know, work out figure out what's wrong with it and do some debugging on it. But yeah, I think at least for now you get the idea of the infinite mimic loop that we're trying to do. And having shown you that, I'm gonna go back off. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, we're about to take on Saint Althea. We have a 417% realm item bonus. Additionally, we have a 180% rune bonus, which was pretty good. We gave her immunity to spell damage and attack damage, and she has a 20% chance to avoid damage. So, right, we should get some pretty good stuff from this fight in terms of the reputation we get with the guild at the end. She will have a chance. She's going to resurrect on death, evidently, which is annoying, because there's no way to prevent false gods from resurrecting, which, you know, it's a thing. I've spoken in the past about how I don't agree with the false gods just having that, like, just arbitrarily not being affected by a core game mechanic. I don't think that's good, but whatever, you know what? We took her down pretty easily, no real reason to complain. I'll just pick a random anointment. And our heaping treasure gives us, ooh, double trait netherstone. Blood weapon, interesting. Conversion is also an intriguing title. 7,000 Nature Guild reputation is pretty good. And what else should we do? Let's take a look at this netherstone that we just found. 522. It's on our second highest page in terms of how rare it is. Are these good traits? Leeching and mending, not that great. I thought it was gonna do something where we do more damage. That's not. And that would have been great if we have familiars in our party, which we don't. So I guess that netherstone ended up being a bit of an anticlimax. You know what? That's fine. So the Goblet of Trials is full, which means I can turn realm instability off. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to well, first of all, there's a couple things we have to do. This dumpling, seeing this dumpling reminds me that we need to summon another dumpling, because I've been sitting on that for a while, and I also need to do some gambling. So let me just quickly do that, because I know if I'm like, oh, I'll do it off camera, I will immediately forget. So let me do it while it's still in the forefront of my... I should have killed that dumpling. Really, I should have. No excuse not to. But, you know, when you're blazing through these realms quickly, sometimes you make split-second decisions that you regret. It's okay. We would have only gotten a little bit of experience from that dumpling. It didn't look like he had any special skin. And we cannot make progress. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Have we ever seen this before? The quadruple 500? Which is the best possible reward, I'm pretty sure, that you can get from scratch cards. I mean, that's what... We don't have a lot to spend notoriety on, but just in terms of how satisfying it was to look at, that was pretty amazing. And our Rune of Prophecies is looking pretty healthy. There's still more we can get out of it. I should finish finish one more mission and get these death creatures killed, and that'll actually, this won't do anything for us because it's blocked on both sides. So maybe missions aren't really... Maybe we'll just kill the death creatures and then hand it in. We'll see. What I should do, though, is I should start a new bounty. I'm just gonna keep doing Saint Althea unless the game specifically wants me to kill somebody else. Alright, and we're still holding on to this Rune of Prophecies. The other thing I said I would do is I would summon a dumpling. So let me go ahead and do exactly that. Just because these are... It takes a lot of time to summon these guys. So you should summon them when you get the chance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on instability 0, and I'm going to keep playing a little bit, and if anything interesting happens, I will show you. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright, we're at another False God fight. We have a bonus of 381% natively, and on top of that, an extra 165. So we should be getting some good stuff from this. This battle is taking place in the Arachnid Nest. I didn't select it, I was just randomly sent here, but it's nice to be having these False God battles in what I've been calling my home turf, just because I love the bonuses you get from fighting in this area. Anyway, let's take her down. I don't think with this party it matters where we fight, because it's just wherever we are, a very similar thing happens, that if the enemy can take blight damage, then they just die. If they cannot take blight damage, then our life becomes very difficult. But for any enemy that is even remotely vulnerable to blight damage, it's basically just the end for them. Anyway, let's just pick up, I don't know, random anointment, and our heaping treasure gives us 2 nether stones, one with a trait. We'll have to take a look at what that trait is. Exalted detriment, some SAT level words in that trait name. Anyway, let's also take our 6,000 reputation, right? Getting some pretty good progress with the Nature Guild. Alright, I might actually set a bounty against against Lloyd Prime, just because we've got some other things left to complete, and so for our next episode, maybe we'll hand in a fully completed Rune of Prophecy, you know, just to change things up. All right, let's head home. No reason to hand in any projects. We'll wait until the next Rune of Prophecies for that. Yeah, we'll set a bounty against Lloyd Prime, and then we'll end off this episode. Where is the exit? Where, oh where, pray tell? It's down here. All right. Hand in our project. Set a new bounty, and just recap what all we had going on in this episode. Yeah, I'm not going to hand in my project. I'm going to save those for the next Rune of Prophecies. I will set a new bounty against Lloyd Prime. Right? That was the one, right? Yeah. I want to check something. Can I change a bounty after I've set it? You have to complete or cancel. So you cannot just switch your bounty. So you would lose progress on... like, you'd have to... Yeah, you'd lose a couple floors, and there'd be no way around that. Okay, so, well, you know, that's good. Good to know. Speaking of progress, what's the progress on this? One more realm, and then finally I can go back off this. I'm doing this because, once again, the Rune of Prophecies asked us to hand in the Goblet of Trials, so now I have to refill it, and one of the 3 options was the Necromancer, which is why I've been playing as the Necromancer. It doesn't matter which class we play, because this build doesn't rely on any class perks, which is why I built it that way. Anyway, so what was accomplished in this episode? I think we got like maybe 1 achievement. Yeah, no, we got a couple achievements just for using our stat boosting items. Other than that, we just made little bits of progress. We actually are making pretty decent progress on the Defender achievement. Already at 58,000. It makes a huge difference having Defend go off every single battle. Sorry, not Defend, Guardian Force. So 6 defends every single battle, as opposed to every 3rd battle, roughly speaking, with our animator. I mean, there's still a very long way to go, but this is going to get us to that destination a little bit more quickly. What else have we been making progress towards? I don't know, just lots of little things. How is our Rune of Prophecies looking? Our Rune of Prophecy achievements. Well, we're also collecting anointments, right? That's pretty good. So 311 lines completed. Getting close to the halfway mark for that. How far away we are. We're not even at the 1/3 mark for the overall Rune of Prophecies, so that's gonna take some time. But you know, we're slowly but surely getting there. with that, I think we're gonna bring this episode to a close. It was supposed to be a mini episode. It ended up being a bit longer just because of how long we spent trying to figure out what was going on with my attempt to create an infinite loop. The loop should work, but it seems like every once in a while it just would stop working, or like something would glitch out. It happened like once or twice during my runs, and I'm not sure why. But you know what? Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe we won't. Maybe we won't. But regardless, I think this party is working pretty well, and I do think the changes we made to it have been helping the nether stones that we brought in. And we have other options for nether stones to put in, because only 2 of our 6 creatures have nether stones equipped. There's room for this party to grow. And on that note, I think it's time to bring this episode to a close. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Hope you will join me for the next one as well. And until then, take care.